It is 7:15. Welcome back, everyone. It's a move that stunned the families of the 67 souls lost in the January 29th, 2025 deadly Potomac midair collision. The House of Representatives shut down a bill failing to pass the Rotor Act this week, sending shockwaves and causing heartbreak among the crash victims' loved ones.
The bipartisan bill would have mandated the installation and use of ADSB equipment, advanced crash avoidance technology that uses satellites to track aircraft rather than radar. It provides safety-enhancing capabilities in aircraft operating in certain busy airspaces. So we're going to bring in our chief transportation correspondent, May Beeler, to just talk about what was in this act and what that would have done.
It's just a surprise to many folks. So, quote, Congress let down the families and the flying public today. We knew this fight would not end here, but we are in complete dismay over this vote, end quote. Those words are part of a statement issued by Tim and Sherry Lilly, the family of PSA American Airlines Flight 5342 First Officer Sam Lilly. He was part of the Charlotte-based flight crew that died in the crash when a U.S. Army helicopter collided with an American Airlines regional jet near Washington, D.C. So why would a bill that would have strengthened aviation safety fail to pass? The Rotorcraft Operations Transparency and Oversight Reform Act, known as the Rotor Act, unanimously passed the U.S. Senate in December of 2025. It was sent to the House for consideration for review this past Monday, where it was shut down. The bill specifically requires automatic dependent surveillance broadcast equipment, it's a mouthful, or ADSB, to be installed, operational, and turned on in aircraft in certain busy airspace like the Washington, D.C. area. It sends a signal to air traffic control and other aircraft, automatically broadcasting the aircraft's precise location, speed, altitude, and identification using GPS technology. It's required equipment for all aircraft flying in that congested and complicated D.C. airspace, yet certain operations have been known to fly without it, and that includes the military, over defense and security concerns. Had the Rotor Act passed, the bill would have closed loopholes for military aircraft tracking, improving oversight of flight routes near airports. Now, the NTSB's 400-page final crash report disclosed that while the ADSB system in the American Airlines regional jet was turned on, the accident Army helicopter system was off. The agency placed blame for the crash on the helicopter, whose pilots were flying at the wrong altitude. Investigators found if their ADSB system had been on, the crew of the American Airlines regional jet and the Black Hawk helicopter would have had nearly a minute of warning to avoid the crash. The president of ALPA, that's the world's largest airline pilot union, Captain Jason Ambrosi, said, quote, situational awareness is critical to prevent aviation accidents. It can save lives. This technology could have alerted the pilots of the imminent collision, giving them time to avoid it, 59 seconds versus 19. That's the difference the NTSB says ADSB could have made for PSA Flight 5342. Saving 67 lives.
Wow.
Oh man, this is so sad, May. I know the military has different regulations, different restrictions than civilian aircraft, but for civilian aircraft, is the ADSB, is that not required?
It is required in certain airspaces, most airspaces, but the busy ones, like Washington, D.C., even the Charlotte airspace, it is required. And there are two different types of ADSB. One is ADSB out. This is required of all aircraft. In other words, it broadcasts out to ATC and other aircraft, their position, their altitude, their airspeed. There's another one called ATSB in, where like the American Airlines jet could have seen where the helicopter was. Their information, it goes into that plane. They didn't have in. So the Rotor Act would make sure everybody has in and the out and the equipment. I know it's complicated. I don't want to get into the weeds too much.
Okay, so the question might be, is there any hope for this bill? What could potentially come next?
Oh my goodness, so victims' families are counting on Senator or Representative Graves, he's the chairman of the Committee of Transportation and Infrastructure in the House, to keep his word and move anything related to the aviation safety through the House. Now, despite unanimous Senate approval and support from victims' families and aviation groups, the bill faced opposition in the House from some Republicans and the Defense Department. There was concern over national security risks, budget burdens for the military, and a preference for the Alert Act we'll be learning about later, which makes fewer demands on aircraft operators. Supporters of the Rotor Act, including victims' families, argue that the Alert Act does not go far enough to address critical air safety gaps. I'm hoping to speak with Sam Lilly's family this week. They're just devastated.
I can imagine that's hard to hear from lawmakers. So we'll keep up on this and see what comes out of it. May-Kay, thank you.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.